On this episode of Inside the Blueprint, we're hitting the road in search of the most innovative influencers, the most daring in design, and the coolest in commercial construction. Looking for protection from moisture and everyday water damage for your home or office? RH Tamlyn & Sons will help keep you high and dry. Looking for more from your insulation than just keeping your space warm or cold? How about adding capabilities like noise reduction and fire resistance? If you're in the market for operable partitions and movable walls, there's really only one name you need to know: Moderco. The state-of-the-art technologically advanced facility in the perfect weather testing location here in Houston, Texas, enable Tamlyn's skilled staff to provide customers with a quality product that protects the structure of your building from everyday water damage.
As a 48-year-old company, we are like in the wow factor right now. We have developed new synthetic house wraps that have rain screen built into them. Before, they were just typical house wraps. What we've developed is innovation in our product to improve the aesthetics, not only on the outside, but on the inside.
Tamlyn was established in May 1971 by Ron Tamlyn Sr. and his wife, Jean. Talk about paving the American way. Ron and Jean Tamlyn started up the company in a small shack in the backyard of their modest home in Bel Air, Texas.
So you have to be a little crazy to start a business in the first place. Plus, they started with, we had no momentum, right? No products, no customers, very little money. So those first years were, your classic rough beginning. We started in our backyard, and we actually started making aluminum ply clips and just started punching these little ply clips, and we still make that product today. Now it's like, we spend more on an ad than the entire capital that we started with.
Tamlyn's history is one of quality, innovation, and proven science and technological performance.
We're providing construction and building science because that is who we are. We're developing products for our customers. And the way we see it is that their product is also our product. Their project is our project. We've changed the way everybody looks at a panel. A 4x8 sheet of panel, whether it is fiber cement, granite, we've changed that to give it an aesthetic that nobody's had before.
As the building industry has advanced and enclosures have become more efficient and tighter, the ever-present problem of moisture continues to plague products.
As a senior architect here at Tamlyn, I mainly handle the research and development on our newest products and the technology. The number one problem in America here, I would even say that all over the world, is about the water leakage. The water would come inside of the building. How are we able to prevent it? That is the issue that what Tamlyn we are trying to solve major issue with the architect, with the engineer, and even with the contractor.
Our home base is Houston, Texas, where you have 72 inches of rain throughout the year, but also it's hurricane zone. So what better place to test your water management products? You're going to get a lot of it.
With these conditions, the key becomes the removal of liquid bulk water and water vapor as quickly as possible to avoid damage to structural components. Tamlyn's designs offer multiple options of water management systems designed to prevent the infiltration of moisture that can lead to structural deterioration.
Our Tamlyn exterior trim, that is one of our products that is for aesthetics.
Each aluminum trim profile is molded and tested using 3D printing technology, ensuring that both the style and design is a perfect match before going into production.
When we are producing this new aluminum nice product, we also produce the one behind it. That is going to be the last defense of the water management whenever you're afraid water will be able to leak into your building.
This is achieved through a gap created by 1.5 millimeter spacers bonded to a high-performance house wrap.
We started with aluminum, and it's gone full circle because now some of our major products are still aluminum-based, extreme trim, extreme interior.
The infiltration of moisture can lead to structural deterioration, shorten the life of exterior claddings and paints, while also fostering mold and rot, which will harm the structure and pose health hazards.
Here is our Tamlyn ring screen 6.3. When we talk about the choices, it's about breathability, the dryable capability, and the drainage capacity.
Its unique design removes at least 100 times more water from a wall compared to your standard house wraps.
We've improved the way everything drains and aerates by adding a rain screen onto a substrate, all in one piece. So there's a lot that we've changed in the market, and we've just begun. There is a whole lot more to do.
With the powerful durability of Tamlyn's products, it's no question who represents the manufacturing end of the building products industry.
What we're doing now with panels is we're beautifying the panels, whether it's fiber cement panels, whether it's granite panels, whether it's wood panels, whether it's drywall, whether it's cloth. Our aesthetic reveals is beautifying those panels to give it some life. That is what it's doing. It is giving it what you're asking for, is the wow factor. That's who we are. We're a family-owned business coming into your home.
Tamlyn is looking to become a world-class and worldwide supplier of quality building products as they help build the dream of better homes and buildings. Where does innovation come from? More often than not, it stems from a need or a problem that requires a solution. This is what inspires the engineers, technicians, and research scientists at Owens Corning. Owens Corning is not only a world leader in insulation, they've taken it to a whole new level altogether. Insulation used to be thought of as just a way to keep in and/or keep out heat and cold. But the folks at Owens Corning have been developing and manufacturing some of the most dynamic and functional insulation in the biz. Now, when talking about insulation, you should include descriptors like acoustics and fire resistance. In a business where innovation is the name of the game, Owens Corning isn't afraid to push the envelope to stay ahead of the competition.
My name's Julian Francis. I'm the president of the insulation business at Owens Corning. And in that capacity, I have accountability for the global operations of the insulation business. Today, Owens Corning consists of three businesses: our roofing business, our insulation business, and our glass fiber reinforcements business, all really founded on the basis of glass fiber, the invention back in 1938. And then after the post-war boom in construction of single-family homes, the insulation business really started to take off. Residential construction is probably where we're most famous, with our iconic pink insulation that was introduced as early as 1950s. In 2013, we bought into a business, we acquired a business called Thermafiber, which is a mineral wool product. So actually it's made of waste material from steel manufacturing, but it melts at a much higher temperature, and so it's very, very good at both its thermal performance, but also its fire resistive properties.
Angie is a technical services leader with Owens Corning, who develops fire control systems using mineral wool as insulation.
Owens Corning Thermafiber pioneered the first perimeter fire containment system. And we designed these life safety systems around our mineral wool insulation products. And so it's systems like this that we install in some of the high-rise buildings like One World Trade Center. So a perimeter fire containment system is constructed primarily out of mineral wool insulation. And really the mineral wool insulation is the workhorse behind the assembly, just because it can resist very high temperatures for a very long period of time. We have containment systems that offer protection up to 3 hours, so that it allows more time in a building for people to evacuate safely. Over here we have a representation of a curtain wall in an exterior high-rise building. We see the Thermafiber Owens Corning mineral wool insulation is covering and protecting a portion of that exterior wall. The critical part of the assembly, though, is really the barrier. And this is where you have a joint between the floor slab and the exterior curtain wall. Now imagine if you did not fill that void with any material, fire would have a free path to spread from floor to floor.
Today we're using the ASTM E84 Steiner tunnel to assess the surface burning characteristics of our mineral wool insulation. So in the E84 tunnel test, the sample is top loaded in a ceiling orientation so that when the flames come up, they hit the bottom of the sample, just like on every sample, even comparison samples. From there, it depends on what the product is made of. We'll then determine how far down the flame front travels down the surface of the material. These are the results from the ASTM E84 Steiner tunnel test. We get a flame spread index and a smoke developed index, and those help us meet the codes.
This particular apparatus is the E119 small scale quarter wall test. So basically this is a wall furnace, and this would be our mock curtain wall insulated with the mineral wool insulation, and we would have a window opening here on the full scale test. We'll fill this room with fire, and we'll get to temperatures well above 1800 degrees Fahrenheit to demonstrate the fire resistive performance of the wall system itself.
Owens Corning's Thermafiber insulation is not only flame resistant, but it also has noise reduction capabilities.
I'm Corey Taylor. I'm the technical lead for the Acoustic Research Center. This is where we design, develop, and evaluate the acoustic performance of our material. So we're going to be running our ASTM E90 test, and this evaluates the sound performance from room to room. The only way sound energy is going to get from our source room to our receive room is through the wall partition that we have in place. So we're going to start this test, and what we're actually measuring is the sound pressure levels over time. So these are the levels of our source room, and here we can see that we are about 95, 97 decibels in our source room. And if we look at the receive chamber, the levels in there are around 60 decibels, just a little under. So what that tells us is that the wall that we have in place is mitigating approximately 30 decibels of sound at this one particular frequency.
Not all Thermafiber products are created equal. We need different product designs for different applications. Our light density products are designed for interior applications to ensure that our homes are quieter, more comfortable, and safer in the event of a fire in a residential zone. On the other hand, our heavy density products are better used in perimeter applications on the outside of buildings to deliver that superior fire performance that is required.
We focus very deeply on the overall performance of the building. So not just from a thermal standpoint as when people think about insulation, but also acoustics, life safety, and then the overall performance of the building through a building science outlook, moisture protection, air infiltration. So many of these things we design into our products. It's not just about insulating a home thermally against cold or against heat, but also the performance of the building as a whole. Acoustics, fire, how it interacts with other systems in the building. And that means we just have to be experts in the building science.
Where does innovation come from? More often than not, it usually stems from a need or a problem that requires a solution. This is what inspires the engineers, technicians, and construction personnel at Moderco. Moderco is one of North America's leading manufacturers of operable partitions, They've been designing and manufacturing some of the most dynamic, functional, and, above all, stylish movable partition wall systems for over 40 years. In a business where innovation is the name of the game, Moderco isn't afraid to push the envelope to stay ahead of the competition.
Hi, my name is Stefan Julian. I'm the president of Moderco since 2014. And I took the presidency after my father, who was the president for 30 years. The company manufactures acoustic glass wall, non-acoustic glass wall, accordion door, and gym doors dividers. What separates Moderco from their competitors? We don't have the disadvantage of being too big, but we have the advantage of not being too small. So we can adapt to almost any kind of design, depending on what is required by the client.
My name is Mario Five. I'm the product manager at Moderco. I'm an architect, so I've been with Moderco for 23 years now. What I do most of the time is basically R&D and quality control. So basically, whatever comes out of Moderco, I'm responsible for the design of it and the quality of it.
Stefan and Mario can often be found on the floor managing production flow.
Whenever we get the glass from our supplier, we have to inspect it. So what we do is we have a white board at the back of the glass. If you see a scratch or anything, the glass is not good. If the scratch is deep, it's deeper than we can actually get rid of, we're gonna order another glass.
What you see behind me, it's the XL 700 series. So basically, it is assembled by 4 robots, separated in 2 specific segments where all the panel will be assembled. Once the panel get out of the robot station, then workers will add all the aluminum capping and will verify all the quality aspects.
We use a vacuum machine to lift it, so we don't need to put any fingerprints underneath, because once the panel is all assembled, you don't have any access to the interior of the wall. So basically, we lift it and we put it inside the panel like we would any other gypsum board or steel that we put on any other panel. Once the panel is cleaned up, we've got rid of all the aluminum particle with the air. We put cardboard protector, and then we just put it in the wrapping machine, and it's all done. Our job is done.
What I love about this company is the people. I started when I was 15 years old. I was working on the production floor, so I know where I come from, and I just raised myself into the company. I did almost every single department, and the production people know that, and they feel it that I have a high respect for them and for what they do.
Production is only half the process. Moderco's distributors not only sell the walls and partitions, they also install them. Scott Lang of L2, Moderco's distributors in Southern California, just finished an install and are excited to share the final result.
I am Scott Lang from L2 Specialties. I'm the founder and president of the company. We pride ourselves on being an operable wall company. Movable partitions are our core business. Well, our work here at Magento started with the architect who was developing the space for Magento.
Hi, I'm Scott Johnson. I'm with Walcott Architecture. This project is a renovation of an existing boat truss warehouse building. We needed to subdivide some specific conferencing spaces, but make them flexible for different uses. We are using operable partitions, as we do more and more these days, to allow flexibility to change the character of spaces from private to public.
Installation is one of the most critical components of any Moderco job, and RPC, Moderco's biggest distributor, just completed an equally big job in Houston, Texas.
I'm Jean Martin. I'm Vice President Sales at Moderco. I've been there for 24 years. The trend that we can see a lot, that people they don't want to have closed rooms anymore. They want to see the daylight. I mean, they want to see the sun, and more glass are used. 20 years ago, all these new offices had open space and so on and so forth. And now they find out that, no, they need sometimes to close some of these space because they need, to be quiet, to do a phone call, to do whatever. So now they're closing, but they don't want to close, so they're using operable walls and or demountable walls with glass finishes to build those rooms.
Moderco's sister division, Extanza, builds and installs stationary walls, but with the same design aesthetic as Moderco.
The market for demountable walls, I would say, is probably 3 to 4 times bigger than the one for operable walls. Because every single office in those high-rise buildings has got those.
At Moderco, having fun is very important. Every time we sign a contract that is at least $50,000, then there's one gong per 50,000 segments. A lot of people come here in the department, okay, which company, which distributor just signed in, and what's the contract, what product it is. So it definitely generates a good ambience.
For more information on how Moderco can work for you, check out their website at moderco.com. Thanks for watching this special episode of Inside the Blueprint. For more information on anything you saw today or to find out how you can become part of the show, go to InsideTheBlueprint.com.